Welcome back to Hardware Unboxed. I'm about to be joined by my trusty sidekick Tim for March's Q&A. And apologies for missing the Q&A last month, but we will be making up for it this month by answering a heap of your questions. And a big thank you to everyone who did ask a question. All right, let's jump into it.
Okay, so our first question comes from YouTube, one of the more upvoted ones. Would it be dumb for Nvidia 10 series owners who bought their GPU before the crypto craze to sell their GPUs at a profit and wait for price normalization in order to get a better card for a discount?
Okay, I'll take that one.
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, the good news is I think that ship has pretty well sailed now, or at least it's starting to leave the port, which is great news for gamers. The GTX 1080, for example, that can now be found for under $700 US, and that's still about $200 above the MSRP, so I can't believe I'm saying, yeah, it's still a better price than it was. I think they were up over $900 that long ago. So we're probably going to continue to see prices tumble over the next few months. Don't hold me to that, but you'll probably have a hard time selling your graphics card now for a profit that'll warrant doing without a graphics card for a while till you can buy another one.
Yeah.
But you could still stand to make $100 or so if you had a higher end one, which again, probably not worth it. Okay, this next question comes again from YouTube. Where are the H370 and B360 motherboards? And that is a pretty good question. We addressed this in a bit more detail on the Patreon live stream, but basically, pretty shocked these aren't out yet already. I know it's been a huge delay. We got Coffee Lake CPUs late last year and still Z370 only boards, but I can tell you that we have signed an NDA, so I can't say much more than that, but that should probably tell you all you need to know. They're pretty close.
So the next question is also from YouTube. When is Nvidia releasing their new generation of GPUs? So we really don't have an idea about this one. The current rumors are sounding like Q3 or Q4 of this year, so maybe Computex type time frame to hear more details. But really, we don't know. We haven't signed an NDA, so it's just guessing really at this stage, but hopefully the second half of the year.
Yep, that's what I would be thinking as well. Next question comes from Twitter. Do you think that Ryzen 2nd gen will be worth it, or a person should just buy 1st gen? Will it be a big improvement over 1st gen, or will the difference be what sort of like we saw between Sky and Kaby Lake? Skylake, Kaby Lake. I'm going to let you answer that one.
Yeah, so I guess if you haven't bought into the Ryzen ecosystem yet, definitely just wait until 2nd gen comes out at this point. Once that comes out, there really will be no reason to buy the 1st gen parts, unless you can get one really cheap on a sale.
Yep.
There is no IPC difference between Skylake and Kaby Lake, so the difference will hopefully be bigger than that.
I hope so.
We're not too sure, but we should be getting some clock speed improvements as well. That will bring, it's on an entirely new process node at 12 nanometer, so even if there's very little IPC difference, hopefully we'll be able to push those clock speeds up higher. If not, I guess you'll be taking the rest of the year off. Won't be much content to make.
I'll probably pack up my bags and I'll see you guys next year.
All right, this question's from YouTube. You test a lot of games. Which ones do you keep playing after testing?
What's this? GGPC says you can play games after testing. You never told me about this.
All right, so this question is from Dude on YouTube. Hey, Hardware Unboxed, I've got a question for you. During the production of GPU dies, they supposedly bin them. What happens to the GPUs that don't make the cut? For instance, a GTX 1070 GPU die is produced but fails short of the 1070 spec, but is still better than a 1060. As I understand, normally they would do a 1060 Ti, but since this model doesn't exist, what happens to it? Thanks, Alex from the USA.
Okay. Well, you've nailed part of that question already, worked it out. That said, though, there really shouldn't be that many defective 1070s as 1070s are 1080s that didn't make the cut, of course. So they're made on a different bit of silicon, or they're a different GPU to the 1060. The 1060 is based on the GP106 die, and that means defective 6GB 1060s are binned as 3GB models, as they have a few less CUDA cores. But to answer your question, Usually, even if they start seeing really good yields, they just keep things as they are. They only introduce something like a GTX 1070 Ti if there's a hole that needs filling, and that is to compete with an AMD product. GTX 1060 Ti was probably never going to happen though, unless the GP 104 yields were really, really bad, or if AMD released a Vega 48 GPU as a hypothetical example. Okay, this next question is from YouTube, and the question is, looking to upgrade to Ryzen 2, should I keep my X370 or buy an X470 motherboard?
Yeah, so I reckon you should probably keep your X370 board for now, since X470 boards aren't out yet, and AMD hasn't specified what they're actually going to bring to people buying Ryzen 2 or even on first generation Ryzen. So yeah, we kind of speculated a bit on our Patreon live stream that maybe they might do things like improve memory compatibility. There might be additional ports and stuff they could put through the chipset, but we're just speculating. We have no idea, so basically just keep it for now.
It's a wait and see thing.
Yeah. All right, this is a great question from YouTube. I'd love to see a PCIe riser comparison video from the cheap eBay ones to the premium category. What do you reckon about this?
Yeah, riser cables, bit of a tricky one. I could have done that type of video, and I did touch on it in an unboxing boxes episode because I had some thermal take ones, a few different revisions.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, they were all giving me headaches. Basically, avoid cheap cables, cheap riser cables. They're all garbage. You really have to spend quite a bit of money to get a good shielded one, in my experience anyway. And they're quite expensive for good ones, especially in Australia. Like, you're looking at least $80 Australian for a decent riser cable in my experience. Anything under that, you'll usually see things like latency issues, and that's not just in gaming either. Like watching a YouTube video, there'll be weird lag and problems like that, and it can even upset the entire experience. So I'd recommend buying from a brand name, a known brand, and cables that companies like Corsair and that recommend. I know Thermaltake do have a new cable now that's supposed to solve those issues. I haven't seen it, but I would avoid buying any cheap cables off eBay. They're guaranteed to be trash.
So this is from Twitter, and I'm personally very interested in the answer to this one, Steve. How did the pizzas turn out?
The pizzas, well, they were amazingly good. So good that I didn't have time to get a picture, so I'll try next time.
Got to make one for me.
Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see how long this stream takes when I have to stop and have some dinner or something.
So, question from YouTube here. How hard is it to keep the lights on and not go bust? Have you ever been close to running out of money? Love the videos and keep them coming. So thanks for that, and I'm sure you'll be able to elaborate on this one.
We've been close to making money. The good thing about YouTube, at least for our channel and the way we operate, because a lot of the hardware is provided, we do spend a lot of money still, but really the overhead for the channel is very low. So Tim and I really only get paid as much as we make, and we don't demand any more, or we can't. It's pretty unrealistic too. But that's really the only way we've been able to make this channel happen. So I think for the first 2 years, the first year and a half I did it with Matt, that was just, we did it for fun. There was definitely very little paying going on there. But yeah, Tim and I both do other things to pay the bills, but the channel's starting to make more and more money, which is good. It's nice getting a bit of money for it, but yeah. So basically, to answer the question though, no risk of, running out or having to close down the channel because of money. There's no overheads, and we just do it solely because we love playing around with computer gear and making videos about it.
Yeah, I think you said, we do other stuff as well to pay the bills, but it's not like we have a second job or anything.
No.
All of this is related.
It's related. It ties in with this. So as you know, we both freelance, right, for TechSpot. That helps pay a few bills and whatnot.
Yeah, the other thing is that, we have a lot of opportunity as well to sort of expand our revenue streams and that sort of thing. You've seen a few in-stream ads in our videos.
They help a lot.
Of lately. So, we want to continue to include those and, start to, continue to make our videos better and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's all going pretty well, I would say, at the moment.
Yeah, we're both happy with it. So if it continues going the way it is, we won't have to worry about that too much. So that is definitely a good thing.
So this one's from Twitter. Interested about the answer to this one too. What is the oldest part you have in the studio here?
Actually, that's very easy for me to answer. I'm pretty certain A few people have pointed this out and laughed about it. I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here. Seen this before? Noticed this on the
It was
shelf?
probably made before I was born.
Whatever. Actually, no, it wouldn't have been. This is, for those of you that haven't recognised it, it is a Celeron 300A. It's my one. And this was released in late 1998.
Okay, I was born.
Yeah,
so
I thought
good.
so, yeah. For those of you that want to know a bit more about this, it was $149 US. So it's a Celeron for $149 US. That was the MSRP. And it was a single core CPU that ran at 300 megahertz. And it had a 128 kilobyte level 2 cache. And you'll like this, similar to your laptops, a 17.8 TDP. So that's
Nice.
pretty cool. Bit of a beast there. I overclocked this particular chip to somewhere between 450 and 500 megahertz, and that's why this was a bit special, because it overclocked like a champion. So that's a big overclock on a 300 megahertz part, and I did that on. It was an AOpen motherboard. So, do you know AOpen?
Never heard of him, to be honest.
All the kids in the audience are like, "What's AOpen, Dad?" Do you know about A-Bit?
No.
Wow. I don't know if I feel old or you just
A bit before my time, I think.
put this back over here. Can't believe you don't know A-Bit.
So this question is from our Discord chat that you can get through our Patreon page. And this is a fantastic question, I reckon, from Revel Devil 2000. What is the one thing in the computer world, whether it be laptops or desktops, that you guys think needs the most improvement on? Random examples: SSD speeds, integrated graphics, motherboard layouts, and etc. I'll let you go first on this one, Steve. It's a tough one.
We need like an intermission thing. Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
SSDs, not really. They're
Fast enough.
yeah, you can go from like a SATA to an NVMe that's like 3 times the bandwidth, and you're not really going to notice it unless you're doing crazy enterprise type stuff or data center type work. Motherboard layouts, they could be improved a bit, but
It's not a big deal.
it's not really a big deal. They've tried different formats, and it hasn't really taken off. You know what annoys me the most, I think, with the computing experience these days is probably Windows. I mean, I don't,
Cop that, Microsoft.
I don't want to bash on the Windows. I like the Windows operating system for the most part, but just they do some dumb things with it, and some of the updates take away features that they didn't need to, and they just rearrange things and mess things up a bit. So, yeah, Windows probably annoys me the most. And also games. What is up with games? The quality of games. Like, we want better hardware support, take better advantage of the PC hardware for a start, and then I suppose just better quality games. And
ones that aren't broken as soon as they're released with
Yeah.
like thousands of bugs.
well, yeah, essentially that. That would be good. So I've complained about software, haven't I?
Yeah,
Was it a hardware specific question, or was
there's
it
a
just
few hardware things I can definitely think of,
well, I'll pass it over to Tim then. Go for it.
like battery life.
Yes.
Every
okay.
device you have that has a battery in it does not last long enough.
Yes.
So I really hope with things like phones and laptops, you'll be able to use it for actually more than a day for once at some point in the future, before I die, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Integrated graphics as well for like laptops and stuff is, unless you're getting Ryzen, which is like 3 laptops on the market pretty much. You're stuck with Intel, and their integrated graphics is terrible. So
Yeah.
improvements there would be nice, but yeah, I agree with you on the Windows and software stuff as well though. Like there's a lot of very odd decisions, let's say.
Yeah,
in some
I mean,
of these things.
I don't want to bash it too much, but there's
Better than running Mac still.
well, I wasn't even going to go there. That was a more goes without saying type of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
See, you've just wrecked this Q&A now. No, I'm just- All right, well, I think hopefully, I didn't really answer that one that well because I don't think it was a hardware specific one. It was computing. So, yeah. Anyway, this next question comes from YouTube. Do you think the CTS Labs stuff will have a lasting effect? Seems to me that people are forgetting about it already. Who's CZS Labs? Next. Okay, this next question comes from YouTube. Why aren't 60 hertz monitors, this will be one for you, shipped at 100 or 120 hertz? Why do companies make us go into the monitor settings and overclock it again?
Yeah, so there's kind of two separate parts to this question, I guess. There are monitors that are advertised as overclockable, like the Acer Predator X34 that I use. That it comes out of the box at 60 hertz, and then you can overclock it up to 100 hertz using the monitor's on-screen settings. And basically, having that monitor as overclockable rather than just always 100 hertz allows them to sell monitors that don't quite reach 100 hertz. So it's kind of like, instead of having to throw away the ones that only reach 90 or 95 hertz, they can sell those because you can overclock it just up to whatever limits you can get, so they get better yields. And then of course there's the other monitors that aren't officially overclockable at all, so they're like 60 hertz, and you can maybe in some driver settings or whatever push that up
a bit more hacking,
a bit of 100 hertz or 120 hertz sometimes, and that's just like overclocking any sort of component, really. Some monitors will be able to overclock, some won't at all. So for those monitors, they don't make them overclockable, they don't sell them at 100 hertz, and it's just luck, I guess, that you get one that can do it. This question is from YouTube as well. Do you have any idea about the prices of the upcoming Ryzen 2600 and X470 motherboards?
Well, again, we talked about this in quite a bit of detail on the live Patreon stream, but basically, short answer, no. Apart from the leaked info that's out there, we don't really have much more to go on. And we usually like to wait until we have official information to give you guys, so we'll just leave it at that.
So, from Twitter, Ryzen 3 1200 in 2018, is it a good choice?
Okay. Well, it's not bad, but it's probably not a great choice since the 2200G, that's the Ryzen 3 2200G, is at least, well, it's meant to be $10 cheaper at MSRP, so it should be, at worst case, the same price. And it should have better resale value because it has that Vega 8 GPU inside. So, yeah, I'd go for the 2200G, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon so. Yep.
Okay.
So this one's from Twitter. Got a lot of questions that were similar to this.
Okay.
How can I build a PC with the right price? And YouTubers like you and Tech Deals or any other tech channel who might have GPUs in stock to sell to the viewers if requested.
Okay. Yeah. Well, to answer the first part of that question, probably your only option at the moment is to shop secondhand or just wait for prices to come down because they will. Sadly, though, YouTubers aren't really in a position to sell to their viewers because I could basically make one of you happy and the rest of you would be not happy. If I did that, though, I'd have nothing to make content with tomorrow. I have over 100 graphics cards. Not all of them are new. They're quite old, some of them. But almost none of them are the same. So they're all different GPUs for doing my benchmarks and stuff. So basically, if I sold you my GTX 1080 for the MSRP, I'd no longer have a GTX 1080 to benchmark with. And yeah, that's kind of a problem for me and the channel if I can't show you guys GTX 1080 performance anymore because I sold mine. So I hope that answers that question. Next question is from Twitter. There are some rumors saying that graphics card pricing will go back to something reasonable sometime soon. Is there anything to back that up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Cryptocurrency crashing a little bit more than usual at the moment. Okay. So that's suggesting that there, might be a downward trend in graphics card pricing. Seems there's been a lot of, government stuff that's spooked the crypto investors, which is great for people like us that just want to buy GPUs. Memory prices are still very high. That's an entirely unrelated problem to the crypto stuff. So I wouldn't expect that to hit the MSRP anytime soon, but hopefully in the GPU stuff should start to get back to normal a little bit.
A lot less ridiculous, you reckon?
Yeah.
All right, well, everyone hold Tim to that. You're predicting 2 weeks?
2 weeks? No.
Okay, this next question is from YouTube, and this will be for you again, Tim. Do you think that 1440p, 144Hz, and ultra-wides should be the new standard?
Yeah, so not sure 1440p, 144Hz should be the standard, I guess, because they're pretty expensive still at the moment. Probably one of the most expensive monitor categories out there. I think the standard, I guess, is kind of something that should be affordable for everyone.
That's why 1080p is a standard.
So I think 1080p 144 hertz, like high refresh 1080p, would be really good if they can get them super cheap so that they're the sort of default 1080p panels. That would be awesome. 1440p 144 hertz being a standard is probably a fair way away.
Yep.
As for ultrawides, I think that's more of a preference thing. You know, some people prefer 16:9, some people prefer the ultrawide sort of experience. So not really something that should be a standard, just something that, you know, coexists with 16:9.
I'm not an ultra-wide fan myself.
Yeah, see, I love ultrawides, but obviously not everyone is into
personal
them.
preference.
So, yeah, that's a preference thing.
Cool.
Should I buy a GT 1030 to avoid high prices during the mining craze?
A GT 10... Oh, okay, yeah. Probably not. I actually have a good video that's coming out tomorrow that sort of addresses this, but you can get graphics cards such as a GTX 660 Ti for much less than a GT 1030, and in that particular example, you look to get it, or you stand to get about 70% more performance, and that is in modern titles. So that's what I would do. Go get myself a secondhand graphics card. Next question's from YouTube. Do you think the new mainstream cards from Nvidia will be a Pascal refresh? Probably. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably.
All right, quick question here from YouTube. Used 980 Ti or 1070?
Okay, well, as with any sort of second-hand purchase, really depends on the price that you can get the 980 Ti for. For second-hand parts, I really like to get at least a 40% discount on whatever it is you're paying for a new GTX 1070. So again, depending on the price, if you can get it for at least 40% less than the new part, then that's the deal I would go for. All right, guys, we're going to stop this video here. We've answered quite a few questions. We have a heap more that we would like to address, so we're going to do a part 2 of the March Q&A. So thanks for watching so far. We'll see you again soon. You got anything on that one?
Oh, you were going to say that.
Oh, you wanted me to say...
Yeah, that's...
Oh, you want me to do the whole thing?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay.